Like, oh, you said it to that guy, so it must have been legally binding. Oh, you mean the guy that didn't go to California with me? Fleeing's an admission of guilt. Uh, he never left. American police aren't actually that stupid. They're just getting bad intelligence from humanity's closest natural enemies. And how did these fucking faggots get that kind of bidding power? Islam believes our ancestors escaped enslavement by theirs, and we are all born fugitives of a debt that can never be repaid. We should all be so lucky as to be born police, like Blue Lives Matter. Smurf Lives Matter. I didn't choose this life. This life chose me. Just born that way. Woke up one day and Black Lives Matter all of a sudden. What'd they do? Blue Lives Matter too. Oh, hell no. So we were talking about reparations, and somebody snuck a bunch of Nigerians in the back door because their excuse for a religion is free lunch for everybody, but they think we're their enemies, but they're not, as if our ancestors didn't buy their ancestors from their ancestors. I don't want to see a return to that sort of thinking because any fucking faggot can just go around raping everybody and then be like, oh, it's white people. Like, we don't have to answer for it. What's the point of having police? Like, you can just look at somebody and be like, definitely wasn't that guy, and then turn away, and then humanity's closest natural enemies come along. It's definitely not this guy. Ask yourself why you're leaking all over the place to begin with. Flat Earth was disproven by Socrates 1,000 years before the Quran was written. Islam shouldn't even exist. How many of you, let's put it to a vote, really need to be getting over like this? Getting over so bad, like you can't even defend yourselves from yourselves. 40-year crack epidemic full of school shootings, but it's because white people. No, it's because faggots. The Nigerians wouldn't be here if they didn't have some kind of point. How did it come to this? Well, turns out, first, do no harm and you're not a doctor, step one. And then corporate prisons are foreign to any democracy on the land. A campaign fund, like the taxpayer voted to build you a prison and then you couldn't afford the upkeep, so you gave it to your friend. Only we'd had the foresight to buy you a fucking calculator. Black Lives Matter. Oh shit. Blue lives don't exist. What about black police? They're not black anymore, they're blue now. So were you born blue? So blue lives don't matter. What does that mean? Well, like I said, corporate prisons don't exist in a democracy. It's an occupying foreign power. First, do no harm, or you're not a doctor even. Look at it from a diplomatic perspective, okay? Would you rather talk it out with somebody that attacked you first, or who first did no harm? Crack epidemic. They shooting, going around jumping people and shit, and we act like it has nothing to do with the goddamn doctors. Islamic State, word. I can't possibly be expected to make any promises. So why did the 1400-year deadbeat imperial flat earth Islamic caliphate brainwash these socio-cultural hitmen to begin with? How did our goddamn doctors get so dumb to begin with? Islam uses terror and slavery to maintain the final word in medical science and ethics. I know grandma needs her pills, but there's got to be a better way than raping all the little blonde kids just to stay in charge of losing to people who's. It's not even a religion. Religion, Christianity, and Judaism were written in the context of a round planet. Why do we even have police? Like, how did you get here to begin with? You could have been a doctor. Dumb as they are, first do no harm. And you got an owner, you got a judge. If he doesn't like it, what's his problem? Bunch of lab coat heretics got his kid locked in a shed. It's compromised. Now, the corporation is using an illegal communications trust on the other side of the Somalian conflict to play judge, jury, and executioner with all these little blonde kids. They don't, I don't know, become a cop. Like, you have to pay tuition for 8 years to become a doctor. You know, that's all there is. It's either cops and robbers or you're a doctor. First, do no harm, or you're not even a doctor. And that's why the cops and robbers scenario. That's why the Tea Party. Somebody needs to dress up like a bunch of Central African terrorists, because that's who's kicking our asses. And throw the tea in the harbor, and maybe these idiot doctors along with it, because
Dubai is off the table. There is no escaping here. It's for your own good. Called Project Paperclip, ostensibly. Nothing to do with the Microsoft helper. Brought a bunch of Nazis over in lieu of Nuremberg. How do the Muslims get away with moving these faggots around? Islam respects no church and state. Okay? So it can't be protected by rational authority, such as that which grants public powers of arrest. What about sovereignty? Martian sovereignty? Like against kill all humans sovereignty? Paycheck to paycheck. May as well just be eating people. And dress up like police and throw the tea in the harbor. The FBI's flag system is being used against them because I've never committed an abomination. And if you're going to play God with people, don't be wrong. Now just go. Bunch of faggots and Central African terrorists, communists, take over our secret projects, and we got the usual suspects acting like they have to make it work, make the science work. Continuity of what, you fucking idiots? I took PC suspicion for crimes against, well, humanity, little ones, but still, to the DEA. I realized the timing was not great, being immediately after the Pulse nightclub shooting, but when they didn't get right back to me, render unto Caesar, I went to Wells Fargo. Here, fuckface, what do you think about this? They shit the bed to the tune of 50,000 cloned accounts and sent over 100,000 Syrian refugees to Germany because Deutsche Bank is just a free fucking lunch for the third world. Wells Fargo is Nigeria, because the Nazis did 9/11, which is automatically the German. Nobody ever heard of French or Canadian. Nobody ever heard of the last king of Scotland. Loved Hitler. So it seems like maybe the UN wasn't really taking everything into account. Because first off, they protect Islam, which is exclusive of democracy. They don't go together. And then they're like, nobody's allowed to touch Africa. Why? The terrible things Europeans have done to Africa. So what, America's next? Genetic scientists discovered that Eve, the first man, came from Africa. So automatically, black people own the planet. I'm not racist. I'm trying to figure out why little blonde kids are getting raped through a 40-year crack epidemic full of school shootings. If that's allowed.